Welcome to Rise and Grind, my mixed media locked Ironman account. In this series, I'll be grinding both old school RuneScape and the real world and sharing bits about my life in between. Let's get ready to grind. Welcome to episode 1. I'm joined today by my cat Fluffy. You'll be seeing a lot of him going forward. Before we dive into the account review, I made this account maybe a month ago. I'll show you my time played and all that stuff. Some of the things you'll be seeing in between my account reviews are updates about my running, exercise, some of the food that I'm eating, just random clips of me hanging out with my dog and cat on the couch, that kind of thing. And I hope you enjoy the series going forward. Now let's get right into it. All right, first things first, let's take a look at the stats. This screenshot was taken towards the end of the video, so my starting total level was around 1300 or so. I've got 113 quests completed, and I don't have that many collection logs, but I've been playing this account for about 10 days, 14 hours. A lot of that time AFK, but a lot of it is active as well, given the 113 quests. So I want to talk a little bit about my short and long-term goals for this account, and then also my very long-term goals. So one of my first long-term goals, as you may imagine, is actually getting the quest cape. I got a quest cape on an Ironman back in 2016 or so, and this was before they actually added any OSRS specific quests into the game, like Monkey Madness 2, Dragon Slayer 2, Wild Gothic Sleeps, etc., etc. I guess Wild Gothic Sleeps is in RS3 as well, but I think the old school version is different. I'm not actually sure. But anyways, I got the quest cape back then. That was before there was any hard quests. There was really any bosses that were a joke. Dream Mentor might have been like the highest combat required to do the quest cape back in those days. So I'd like to actually get the quest cape again now that it's going to be a bit of a challenge. The other big goal that I want to do is actually get the achievement diary cape. I've never gotten this before. Requires a lot of skilling. So I think that's going to take a lot longer than the quest cape, but it is one of my long-term goals. Now, for a much shorter term goal, one of the main Ironman goals is to complete Song of the Elves. This is a very important quest unlocking the Prif region of the game, and it has a lot of mid-game skilling requirements where you need 70 and a bunch of skills. So a lot of the grinds you're going to be seeing in this video and following videos are going to be building towards unlocking Prif and completing Song of the Elves. I don't have a genius overarching strategy in order to get there. I'm kind of roughly following the optimal quest guide that's found on the wiki, and also another creator named Mutrius created an Ironman Song of the Elves rush guide. That's not quite exactly my style, but I'm kind of using it as a reference for some ideas around ways to train some of my skills. And after that little AFKing star session, I have enough Stardust to buy the Celestial Ring, which is going to be useful in today's video because I'm going to be mining a lot. There's a 70 mining requirement for Song of the Elves. I'm pretty close to it right now, and just having the +4 boost to mining will be a little bit useful while I'm doing my AFK Motherload Mine stuff. Now, before my tithe grind that you're about to see, I went for an 8-mile run. This is on the medium side for me. I run pretty long distances typically, although I am recovering from an injury, so got to get the exercise in before the long grinds. All right, now we're over here at Livid Farm. My goal is to hit 65 farming so that I can use the medium tier of the farming guild, get better farming contracts. And I also need a couple key unlocks from the Tithe farm, primarily the seed box and the herb box. I don't have the herb sack, I should say. I don't have the herb level yet to actually use the herb sack, so I'm just going to store up enough points to get it. And then if I need to get more points after I hit the 500 for those two items, I'll start buying the farmer's outfit. I'm going to want to get that eventually anyways as well, but I want to prioritize some of the quality of life things over a couple percent XP upgrades. Now, the method I'm doing here is one of the 25x4 methods that you can find on the wiki. I got the tile layout here from a Tithe Farm plugin that I found. It's just helpful to figure out or remember exactly where to click for each plant, but this method is fairly forgiving once you get it down. The idea is that you plant 25 plants 4 times to get 100 of the fruits, assuming you don't mess it up. Now, throughout my few hours here today, I did mess up a couple times, but for the most part, I kind of nailed the method. Basically, once you get all the seeds planted and you're just watering them, it's a lot easier and you don't really need to pay attention. The hard part is when you plant the seeds and have to water them immediately and try to do it where you animation cancel, so you use up a lot less ticks in order to actually water the plant. That enables you to plant this many and manage this many plants at the same time. Overall, I think it takes about 5.5 minutes per round of 100. 12-mile walk completed. All right, we got a round of 300 bazonga fruits all done, so time for some farming dopamine here. 60 farming, 61 farming. Snape grass unlocked is pretty nice, pretty nice. And no level there, but about to be 62 farming. All right, I'm about 100 fruits, I don't know if you can see it really on this camera, into my next little tithe farming session. And I'm going to show you one of my go-to meals that I've been eating recently. I think it's more of a breakfast meal, but I personally have been eating it for dinner. I've got my dishwasher going on in the background, so it's not ideal, but what we have are 4 main ingredients. I do about a cup of triple berry frozen berry mix. You can just do blueberries if you want to, or any sort of berry, but I like the blackberries and the raspberries in there as well. A banana. This is definitely overripe, but it's what I'm working with right now. This is my go-to yogurt, but any Greek yogurt or whatever kind of non-Greek yogurt, I guess, will do. And then you can add peanut butter. This is literally just like ground peanuts. The only ingredient is peanuts. I don't know, I bought it online at some point. Started adding it to smoothies and stuff, and it's pretty good. You can substitute with peanut butter. I think this is like slightly lower calorie if you want to do it that way. Oh, and I said about a cup of berries, but then I just do a few spoonfuls of yogurt and 1 spoonful of this peanut butter stuff, and then the whole banana. That's kind of the proportions that I set up. All right, here's the masterpiece. The last step is to mix it well. Note that this is a kind of small bowl. I usually use bigger bowls, but they're in the dishwasher right now, so it's going to be a little tricky to mix this all. But once you mix it all, if you're using frozen berries, I would wait a few minutes before eating it so that the berries are less frozen and you don't have to crunch through the blackberries. If you're using fresh berries, not a problem. Enjoy. All right, the sun is setting, the grass is green. My dog is enjoying getting caught hopping up into her treehouse. We got the flip-flops on in the beautiful New England winter. Just wrapped up another round of 400 tithe farm orbs, whatever you want to call them. So let's go check in on our dopamine. Let's get the dopamine rush. I don't think this is going to get me to level 65 yet, but I think it's going to get me pretty close. And I will almost have enough points for the herb box, or the herb sack, which I'll be able to get once I hit 58 herb, I believe. So let's go open these bad boys. Dopamine. Thank you, C Engineer. 62 farming. All right, 63 farming. All right, still 63 farming. Last one, 64 farming. And we are just 33k away from hitting 65, unlocking Hespori and medium farm contracts in that medium section of the farming guild. All right, I was going to wrap up my tithe farm grind there, but being so close to level 65, I couldn't help myself. So I went back for one more round. I now have enough points for the herb sack. I have the seed box already. You can see it in my inventory here. I didn't mention it, but once I hit the 250 points, I purchased it. I now have the points banked for the herb sack. And you can see from the farmer here, I've actually already purchased auto weed. And so I can now buy the herb sack, but I don't have the herblore level yet. I need 58 herblore, so not quite there yet. I also don't have the can yet, but I'm going to kick the can on this one. It's not a super important upgrade, but I'll maybe get it later. All right, you may have noticed it, but in the prior clip, I actually didn't quite hit 65 farming. I hit 64 farming with only 10k experience to go. I had some trees planted, and so I harvested all of those. I had some willows planted. I realized it wasn't quite enough. But the next quest on my optimal quest guide list was actually My Arm's Big Adventure, which gives you 5,000 farming XP, and it also gives some herblore XP, which is awesome. So because I was just under 5,000 farming XP to go to hit 65, I just banged out this quest real quick. And you can see it here, 5,000 farming XP, 10k herb XP. And this brings me to 65 farming, so I can begin my Hespori grind, my medium contracts, and also a nice 44 herb level. After this long grinding session, I decided to hang out on the couch, watch some YouTube, and do some Temperos. Wrapping up another Temperos solo here on the couch. Got all me and my friends. Huge morning here at the Gem Crab. I missed the level up, but I got 66 range, which is what you need for the Sunlight Hunter crossbow, I believe it's called. I'll throw an image on the screen. And something neat that happened is I got my first Dragonstone on the account while just kind of mining these gem crabs. I've been doing gem crab while I read in the morning, actually. Reading with my dog here. Just finished Age of Swords, book 2 of the Legends of the First Empire series. Good book. But I do gem crab while I'm reading in the morning because it's extremely AFK, click once every 10 minutes. And so I've been mining the gems too to get some early combats up. It's a beautiful 9-degree Fahrenheit morning. Feels like -1 today. A lovely, almost spring day here in the greater Boston area, let's call it. And of course, I'm in line at Dunkin' Donuts getting my medium cold brew. All right, I am back at the Big T. One of my next goals on the account after hitting 65 farming is to also hit 65 fishing, because at 65 fishing, you unlock the ability to fish Karambwans, which are very important. It's a nice AFK method that I'll have, so while I'm at work, I'm kind of accumulating different things I can AFK to progress the account. I'm going to hit 70 mining while AFKing Motherlode Mine at work, probably today. And so before work, I'm going to do some more Temperos. I'll probably do some more after work. Try to hit 65 fishing in the next couple days so that I have another AFK method that will help the account bigly, because I'm going to be AFKing Karambwans for a long time just to stock up on food and get some fishing XP. Also, I was doing some Temperos last night while on the couch, and I actually pulled the tackle box, which was a little bit lucky. I kind of wish it was the fishing sack, but it was so early that I can't really complain. I have 91 permits, 18 Temperos kills. I've kind of done a mixture of solos and groups. I'm mostly doing solos now. And so I got the tackle box, which is pretty nice. If anything, it really just saves me a bunch of bank space. I have the angler outfit that I got pretty early on and just kind of threw some stuff in there. So cleared up some bank space for me, which was nice. Here's a little sped up run of one of my Temperos solos. As you can see here, what I'm doing is, I think one of the common methods, honestly, I've never done Temperos before this Ironman account. So my 19 KC that you see in this video, that's the most Temperos I've ever done. So if I'm doing anything wrong, definitely let me know. But it feels pretty fine to do these solos. You can see what I'm doing is I'm fishing 19 fish, cooking them, and then shooting 16 at Temperos in the first round. Brings his energy down to 10%, and at that point, you will no longer get any of the weather events. Then I just try to fish the double spots, cook as much fish as I can, and as soon as I see the storm intensity hit 90, I know I need to go and just launch whatever fish I have. And I keep track of how many off of 19 I was, because you need to shoot 19 fish in order to get him back down to 10% at the next round. So you can see here, I actually missed 2 fish. I quickly fished and cooked them just so I wouldn't get any events. And once you do that past the first round, which is a little bit stressful, especially with the low fishing level and you have a low success rate for catching these fish, the run becomes a lot more chill, because you constantly get him down to 10% energy, and then he doesn't do anything. You just kind of fish your full inventory, cook all the fish, shoot them all at him, do it again. And then the third time around, you'll get his energy down to 0%, or his essence down to 0%, which means that he's dead, and you win. This rate is a little bit better than doing groups. So I have a small sample size here, but from my experience, it takes about 10 minutes to do a solo, maybe 9.5 minutes, and you get on average 9 permits, or at least that's what I'm getting. So you get about 1 permit per minute. However, if you're doing a group run, I was doing them in about 6.5 minutes on average, and I would get like 3 permits. So you get probably like 50% more permits per minute plate of this minigame by just doing it solo. So I would recommend that strongly. All right, walked 3.4 miles, drank the cold brews, watching some Wild Mudkip on YouTube. And here is going to be ending up the about hour of Temperos this morning. This is 6 kills this morning. Let's go see you. 10 permits today, right now. And let's go pull these permits. All right, I am expecting nothing here. However, 54 rewards to pull. I'm going to get a lot of fish, which is going to be good for the cooking. So I'm not expecting any uniques, but the cooking fish will be nice. Ooh, 25 soaked pages. I think this means that I got a dupe tackle box, if I remember correctly. But let's see what's in these caskets as well. And we got an easy clue scroll and some silver bars, which is actually not bad. There's some silver jewelry that I can make. I don't have any silver bars banked right now, so this is actually a pretty good drop for me. And some money here. All right, as I mentioned before, I've been AFKing Motherlode Mine, and you can see I picked up enough gold nuggets to get the Prospector legs, and I also got enough for the Prospector boots. Now, the next thing I will spend my gold nuggets on is likely the gem bag, but after that, I'm either going to get the coal bag or the upstairs unlocks, because the mining level requirement, I believe, is lower than it used to be. So we'll see, but eventually I'm going to probably just get all of the Motherlode Mine upgrades. And there we have it. There is 70 mining. Sorry, there goes my idle notifier plugin blinking the screen red. But I'm now 70 mining. I can mine adamantite, which is interesting. But also, most interesting is it is one of the Song of the Elves requirements. So if we check here, I haven't done Morning's End Part 2 yet. I have done Making History. 70 mining is the second Song of the Elves requirement that I have. Sorry, I'm going to disable this plugin while I'm talking here. Idle Notifier is very useful if you need to be alerted while you're not paying attention, but it is not very useful when you are paying attention. So I've got 70 wood cutting. I actually grinded out a bunch of maple logs in my bank that I'll show at some point, which is how I'm going to get the fletching, my fletching level up for the hunter crossbow. But mining is the second level 70 that I've gotten. Hunter's pretty close too. This is probably going to be the next one that I complete on this list. Unless I am motivated to do agility sooner than that, but I highly doubt it. Hunter rumors are actually pretty fun. All right, I'm here wrapping up my day at Motherlode Mine, and I wanted to talk a little bit about my short-term goals on the account. Song of the Elves, in the grand scheme of the account, is kind of a short-term goal. However, I have even shorter-term goals than that to keep me motivated day to day. I'll have a list of them that I kind of keep in the notes tab of RuneLite here that you can't actually see on the screen recording at the moment. But some of the things that I'm working on while I'm actively playing are going to be Hunter Rumors so that I can unlock the Sunlight Hunter crossbow. Also Veil Totems to get my fletching up. Also so that I could fletch the Sunlight Hunter crossbow. The agility level that I need for Song of the Elves is 70, so I'll be doing agility probably while on the couch on my laptop. Doing Temperos, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I still need to get level 65. I'm at 56 right now, so I've got a bit more Temperos to go. I'm hoping to get the fish bag, or whatever it's called, the fish box barrel, so that while I'm fishing Karam 1s, I can be a little more AFK, fish them for a little bit longer. But if I don't get it, it's not the end of the world. I'll just have to do more Temperos later. There's also a bunch of Giant's Foundry smithing that I will need to do to hit 70. I might smith some of my ores here into bars and use those, but I might just end up buying things from the shop. You can also see I've got 80 thieving, so I've been doing Varlamore thieving while AFK. I use the Idle Notifier plugin. You click once every 90 seconds or so. It's actually a pretty nice AFK method while working on stuff, because you don't have to click as often as you do in Motherlode Mine. So this is how I've been getting GP to fund a lot of things. The other thing that I've kind of been very infrequently working on is Guardians of the Rift, to get some runes and some rune crafting levels. You can see I'm 48 rune crafting here. I haven't done it too much. It's kind of annoying to do from my laptop while I'm at my couch, so I kind of need to be on my computer to do it, because it is more clicks than I would like it to be. But that's another thing that I'm kind of working on actively at the moment. I'm also thinking about 77 magic here because of the Super Glass Make spell, which you also need 61 crafting to get lunars. So All these things are kind of a tangled web together. I'm trying not to work on too many things at once, but I've got my short list of active things that I'm working on in the short term, things that you're going to see in very soon in upcoming videos, well before I ever tackle Guardians, or I was going to say Guardians of the Rift, well before I tackle Song of the Elves. All right, the sun is setting here on another day. I'm such an early game Ironman that I'm able to accumulate a lot of clips of different things that I'm doing with a lot of level ups in between in a very short period of time. So now that my workday is over, you can see I'm editing the video in the background. I hope you enjoyed this first video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.